Woohoo! Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
We are back again.
We are. Make sure everything levels looking good. Levels are looking good, sounding good. Hearing me okay?
I hear you okay.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I think today we're going to be talking a little bit more about some sound stuff, as usual. But we're going to have a little bit of a video mix in. I don't think we've ever talked about Davinci Resolve on here yet. But that is the video editing platform that I like to use because the base version is free and the full version is only $300, which isn't bad. But honestly, I rarely ever run into the paywall. It's very rare. So I figured I'm working on this video that's a MARZ. It's a MARZ video that we're doing for another group that I had students helping with, so I figured we kind of make an educational sort of thing about it and focus sort of on the sound, because there was a lot of things in this video that could cause some bad sound, but I try to do my best to get the cleanest audio I could. So let's go check that out. We can jump right in. So let me get this set up where Cory can see, or the stream can see, I guess, what we're working on here. There we go. Fade that over. All right, so everybody can see what I'm looking at here. This is Davinci Resolve. I've got some stuff set up to make this easier. Now, there were 3 recipes in this little tutorial cooking video that we did. So this is actually not displaying correctly. Oops, I don't want to crop. There we go. You can see I've got my timeline here. I've got a few different tracks. These are empty right now because I haven't started on these other recipes. But this here is the actual full timeline with we had 4 cameras going. Each of these cameras had their own audio source that I actually got rid of, but we can go and check. I synced it up and then I got rid of them because for some reason they like to cause issues, but I'll show you what they sounded like. So actually, I have to make sure that you guys can hear what I'm hearing on my computer.
Oh yeah, this is always a fun part. I experience this a lot, and any program that takes control of audio, that in a more comprehensive way than just like playing stuff back through your system outputs, tends to start to get kind of grumpy about where things get sent, and requires a little bit of setup. Let's see if I hear this.
Can you?
I do.
Oh, okay. Cory can hear it. So what I need to do is add a source in OBS here. I'll do it for this particular shot. This is our, which one is live? Sorry, we kind of last minute decided what we were gonna do and I forgot to change this part. Okay, here's a control room. I need to add in a audio output capture. Hopefully this doesn't, it shouldn't be a problem if I...
As long as you're not monitoring OBS.
No.
Then it should be fine.
Okay. So I want to capture, we might end up hearing Cory again, but I don't think that that's going to be a problem because it should just be synced up with your lapel mic. So I don't know, let's see what happens. So I want to do output 1 and 2 on here.
Let's
see, so I have to fade this through. Okay, here's my other source. I know you guys can't see this here, so let's see what happens if I play. That does not seem to have worked. This may turn into a little bit of a OBS technical. Here, let me show you what I'm doing here so
yeah, I'm
y'all
curious.
can see. So it's going to be a little crazy up here in the top, but what I'm trying to do, I've got this PC source here. I got to change my output to match the... So we're looking for, it should just be output 1 and 2, I would think. Because our headsets are hooked to output 1 and 2. So whatever comes out the headset should, let me switch to standard mode here. That way it happens live. Sometimes if you're playing with it I've got it in studio mode, you have to kind of you have to transition to the next shot to actually get it to register. If I play some system, I may have to just change my system audio output actually.
Yeah. There's a whole world of Windows audio routing that I don't really go to bat with very often.
It's always adds in a whole extra. Oh, there it goes. Look at that. Okay.
Sweet.
So let's check. Move this back over. You can see Resolve again.
Anything in OBS? I'm not getting that now.
Project.
Oh, I am getting it.
Website.
There we go. Okay, that's
sweet.
going through. Cool.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I did it.
It makes it, there's like some little things that sometimes, like before when I was doing stuff in Blender, that was a whole separate computer, which made it a little bit easier like to physically route that audio just to the board, and then I can put it where I wanted it. This I'm screen capturing the same computer I'm streaming on, so there's a little bit of internal like routing to do.
Yeah, that internal virtual audio routing can get really confusing really fast.
Yeah, so but this seemed to work, so thank goodness it was easy. But yeah, so this is the video that I've just started working on. You can see my timelines here. You can see I've only got one audio clip because this was each of these I probably wasn't a good idea. I shouldn't necessarily have deleted them, but I like to try to keep it clean because I know I'm only going to use this track. This track was going into my main camera here. If I can find that shot.
So this main track's pulled from an actual cam?
Yes.
Cool, okay. So this is something I was going to ask you about. So
yeah, something to keep it keeps it synced. So
yes.
This front camera, this front facing camera, was the one that I actually had these lapels plugged into. And the nice thing about that is that I had it going to a left and right mix. So I was getting like, essentially, it's like a cheap way of getting 2 tracks audio kind of thing. You can tell in this intro video here that this lady here who's talking first is much quieter. You can actually see from the waveform than the cook.
Take it away.
So right now it seems like it's in mono.
Rochelle at Food
Yes.
Wife's Kitchen.
did you sum it to mono?
This actually is, I think. Let's check our. So our Resolve has these different tabs on the bottom that you can. So it doesn't.
Yeah, it looks like
maybe it did.
it looks like it.
That's interesting because I didn't tell it to. So, for the sake of having like a clean setup here just to test, let's make a new timeline and just like throw some of these clips in here just so it's a little less confusing. So over here I'm using a fancy like multicam clip, which is essentially you sync everything, and it's almost like running a live stream where you could see my 3 cameras or my 4 cameras up here in the top. Mm-hmm. So I could like cut between these. Sometimes it helps if you got to do all the syncing, of course, but
it sounds a lot more, once it's synced, it sounds a lot more pleasant than chopping clips or whatever.
Yeah. So I'll just make a new timeline here. I just right clicked in there and created a new timeline. It's still showing this, which is interesting. I want to go to, let's say, Cam A. So this one is a good example because it's got both 2 people in them using both the channels. So this should now, if I go into what they call it something, I think it's like the Fairlight. So this now we should be able to see, yeah, these are the waveforms are different in the left and the right channel. So here is the right mic. The lady on the left has that mic, and then the lady on the right has the left microphone. So what I did before was Resolve lets you you can change these, which is interesting. And there's probably an easier way to do this, but in the clip attributes, you can change your format. Oh, that's probably what I did. Hold on. forgot about that step. Let me go back to this and check this out. See if that's what I did. I know this isn't really a Resolve tutorial. It's more about just like talking about audio stuff. So I'm not going to dive too deep into, actually speaking of like that stuff, I should probably have our chat up here. Make sure, okay, cool.
I'm over here dorking out, trying to scramble and read the manual for the Fairlight effects, because there's some interesting tools in there.
Oh yeah, it's very like, it's pretty in depth really. But if I go back and check out let's go back to this folder. I want to go to this R1, which is the first video I'm doing here. If I right click and go to I want clip attributes. Maybe you can actually only do it from some stuff. You're like restricted to different tabs. So let's flip back into Fairlight, click on this, go to clip attributes. Yeah, okay. So for some reason it's in adaptive mode, which I don't actually know what that means or what it's trying to do here, but I can manually tell it to go into stereo, and then it's going to use those two embedded channels, which are my left and right channels. So now if I look at this should be, and it doesn't look like it did though. Maybe, oh, let me check. Clip attributes, embedded 2, embedded 1. Yeah, it did do something weird with the, maybe doing the multicam thing sums the audio down to mono. Because this isn't actually the real clip. This is essentially a proxy of the original clip that I had edited down. So if we were to go into this timeline here, where we've got all of our different layers here, you can see all 4 video tracks stacked on top of each other. Let's see what happens if I go into Fairlight here and check this out. Yeah, something different is going on here. So this has 4 levels, but you can see these look like it's a single mono track. So you apply it to the whole track here. So maybe I can change this track type to stereo and see.
So I'm just like quick shooting through, and I'm like, what's adaptive? And like, adaptive just seems to be a flexible multi-channel track type. So you can have mono, you can have stereo, you can do 5.1 tracks. So you can have like, so 5.1, right? That's 6 channels. Center, front left, front right, back left, back right, and sub. 6 channels, right? And then adaptive, which is I'm like literally like clicking through, finding in the middle. You can have up to, there's like a maximum number of tracks. It's up to 24 channels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the reason you might choose to do this, well, like if you have like much different sources that you're trying to like edit in one clip, one for sure, or if you're trying to mix to something more than 5.1 surround, like 7.1 or 7.4.2, which is becoming increasingly common. Have you seen that format?
Was that 2 subs or something?
Yeah, stereo subs. So it's a 7 point. So center, front left, front right, side left, side right, back left, back right. Stereo subs, and then ceiling, top left, top right, front, and top left, top right, back.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's a full 13 channels of audio.
So yeah, this is pretty crazy. It goes all the way down to adaptive 24. Yeah. So, but what I want here now that I can actually see this, I changed this track had been set to mono. So now I wonder if, so I can actually edit this. So what I would probably do, and what I will probably end up doing for this particular video, is editing all the audio in this timeline. That way I know that, because I'll keep coming back, I'll take this whole timeline, and what I've done is just brought it into this other timeline, essentially, so they're nested within each other. But with this one, it's a particular type of timeline that allows me to, if I bring up this view here, you can actually see that I can change this to my multi-view or multicam. There's only one camera here, of course, but if I go further in, you can see that these are all synced up, and I'm getting. You can actually hear it now. Can you hear it only on your left ear?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's because she had the left lapel mic going into the camera.
Right.
So what I that did change it. I must have changed it to mono in this timeline.
Yeah. It's on a per clip basis. It's not like the channel. It's like.
Yeah. I guess it is the channel.
Okay.
Yeah. When you go into the clip attributes, is when you can select. So I can change it here. I can change the whole track to a stereo track, and then here, if I click the clip itself and go into clip attributes, I can change. So if I wanted to change this to mono and just have channel 1 embedded, I can do that. And now, if I go through this, it actually got rid of that track.
Fresh strawberry.
But it's still on the left. I bet you I could probably.
It's because something about that's somehow still stereo.
It's still stereo because the whole track
something on it is stereo.
I think just because the whole track is stereo.
Or can you change the track type?
Yeah. So let me change the track to. There we go. Oh no. Add track. Change track. Mono.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. So now.
They're not quite happening yet.
So now she's in both.
So this is a confusing paradigm, right? Because you can have your tracks can have a certain number of channels, and then like the clips on them can have a different number of channels. But I guess it kind of makes sense, right? And so like I bet if you.
So like this clip is still stereo, but I bet you it's probably, I don't know if it's summing them to mono or if it's just taking.
Play back.
Diagnosis. This is our 25th
Anniversary. Anybody. So
Yep.
if you're new to
Sounds like it's summing it, huh?
Yeah. Okay, so quick, what does that mean? So stereo, right? 2 channels, but we want to hear it in one. A lot of time in video, like especially with dialogue, or even with music and dialogue, or voice, whatever. Like voices are a mono source, and so we tend to mix them in mono. We want to hear it equally in both ears.
Right.
And so when these 2 mics are 2 mono mics, but they're being panned hard left and right because of the way they came in. So one mic's in one ear, one mic's in the other. So if you want to get mono out of that, there are 2 ways to do that. If you want to hear the same thing in both ears, like one way is you can switch back and forth between the 2. You can literally like cut between them,
Right.
and then pan them mono so that they appear like put them on a mono track and then just like switch between the 2 tracks. But the other way is called summing to mono, whereas you take those 2 continuous stereo recordings and then just like add them together. So there is an advantage to this and a disadvantage to this. And I like for your cleanest results, Jay, you probably don't actually want to sum this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just did. I cut this clip where she stops talking and the other lady starts talking.
Exactly. Yeah.
So now I'm using
So with that,
her mic
Rochelle
right
has
here,
crafted
and you'll hear it. Whoops, I didn't mean to go that far.
With that, Rochelle has crafted 3 wonderful recipes to share with us.
You can see our little
with
preview.
our clients. So she's going to take it away.
All right. So I've put together 3
Super
recipes
clean.
that will be
Yeah.
good for.
So if you don't do that, what you get is you get like both mics picking things up and then like having phase things because those mics they're the same mics, but they're different distances from the source and they're moving in relation to the source. So if you sum them to mono, this will manifest as the other person moves, it will manifest as a whooshing noise. If you are ever watching TV, pay attention to the high frequencies on the dialogue and people like on stuff that's actually filmed, like on location, like live actors, and a shocking amount of television and even film dialogue has these phasing artifacts from actors that are mic'd up and then also boomed. You hear it all the time, and
Interesting.
It's quite noticeable.
So this worked out pretty good for me in this scenario with having, I mean, you could definitely tell when they were both, like, when you've got both mics on, what's happening there. And like this one, I know it should already be set, but I can go in here and check my clip properties. So I would just like go through all these and like, yep, it's format mono. Now it's not summing it to mono, it's just taking one of the 2 embedded channels. So I'm taking, in this case, 1 is the left channel and 2 is the right channel. So I'm taking 1 because I know that was the channel that mic was going into, and keeping that. And in this case, the other mic was off. So there is no signal from that other mic. because we only had one person in front of the camera. Now later on, I do have them both. I think it might be cut. Oh no, so they're both on stage. So I have to watch through and see if I have any clips where they're both talking, and then do this whole swap thing as well, just to keep the dialogue clean. Now, this did a pretty good job of like keeping out the room noise, but let's see if I can find a part in here where there is not a lot of talking. So even like right here. Now this is actually not, I didn't sum them all far enough along to actually, or I didn't go far enough along to set this. So it's still only coming out of the left side. Oh no, it's not.
Maybe you have a smaller baking dish, just use less strawberries. You just want...
But like in this quiet part right here, let's see if I can play, just like, wish my waveform would come back. Sometimes it takes a little bit for it to generate the waveforms after you've messed with it. But let's see, this is at 2. Let's see if we can go back into here and see the waveform. Where is it at?
Man, I'm dorking out on the Fairlight features.
Are you seeing all the effects over here?
Well, okay, so like, I mean, we'll get into why I think this is really interesting versus audio editors or typical audio timeline editors in a second. But,
okay. Yeah, let's see if I can get this to. Oh, there they are. There they are. Okay, I don't know. Sometimes it just takes a bit, but you can see that I have like. Let's listen to this like little spot right here. I think she's chopping stuff, but you can really hear like if I just like take this. I'm gonna do some crazy and take this and just like crank up the volume here. Listen to this noise. And this is just like, I mean, these mics don't have a lot of noise, and I had the gain turned down quite a bit. So this is all mostly just the noise of the room, and particularly that fridge back there. There's actually 2 fridges right there. But I just turned this up so you can hear that lovely fridge noise. Mm-hmm. That I did get though I did get a sample 30 seconds of just the white noise of the room.
Good job, Jay.
Which is something that's sometimes hard to remember, but
proud of you.
Pretty crucial to.
Oh man, yeah, it's gonna make your life a lot easier.
Yeah,
it's gonna let you use the noise reduction tool that you have here.
Exactly.
Although it looks like you have like, you can get it to sample from a surprisingly short amount of room tone.
Right.
But the more you give it, the better the algorithm learns the sound of the room.
It's like here's some more like really. You can really hear those. So you might, if you're not.
I'm getting your room noise pretty hard.
Oh, here, let me give you a cleaner thing here.
Yeah, it's not screaming in my ears necessarily, but it's like I hear what you're hearing for sure. I wonder if the folks at home can hear this. Yeah, crank it. Yeah. So that's a pretty. You're muted still for me, by the way.
There we go.
But that's a pretty common sound of a kitchen. Kitchens are awful places to be anywhere near. Also, like just if your audio equipment is plugged into the same circuit as your fridge, you'll often, if your speakers are turned on, you will hear your fridge turning on and off as it like makes the power in your house get all wonky. Yeah, are you gonna do some noise reduction on this?
Yeah, let's try it. So
yeah, I'm curious.
We've got a few. Oh well, not a few, but a whole list of different kinds of effects we can use.
So I have to say, just real quick, I'm shocked at like how comprehensive this is. Like, there are a lot of like effects that I would only expect in like creative audio applications. Like I'm not surprised to see multiband compression and limiting and frequency analysis and like, but like, and distortion even. But like, there's like a chorus and flanger. There's like echoes.
Got a Foley sampler.
Yeah, there's a sampler.
Cool.
which like
I haven't tried that before.
yeah, there's pitch editor. There, you know, like you can do some weird stuff. There's a vocal channel. That's interesting. What is that? I'm curious.
Vocal channel. Where do you see this one?
Like a
down
full
here?
channel strip.
Yeah, let's find out. So what we can do, I mean, it's as simple as just, let me find a decent sized clip here. Let's go somewhere where I've done some editing. Let's take like...
You can really do a lot of different things with.
Oh yeah. Are you going to insert it onto the clip?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the first thing I think is really interesting about this program, but I don't think you should do that. Let me tell you why. So one thing that I do a lot in Ableton is like I'm running a tune and like stuff's going on, and I want to affect like I have like say a loop, and like there's like one beat that I want to put an effect on. And so to achieve that, I can do that one of two ways. I can either automate, like I put an effect on there and automate it turning on and turning off, which is pretty common. And the other way is to just like copy that thing to another track and put the effect I want on that track. Both of those are kind of clunky. And so I really wish that I could do this third thing, which is what you can do here, and apply effects directly to individual clips, not to the whole track. So cool. However, you can also apply effects to the whole track here. And so like depending on what your goal is, like, you know, for something like what if the vocal channel is what I think it is, you might want to stick it on the whole track instead.
Well, let's do that. What do we do? Drag and drop it on here?
It looks like it'll let you do that. Yeah. And so it should appear in your channel strip over to the right. Yeah, in the mixer. There it is.
Okay.
You see it in the effects?
Yep, there it is.
So in that window, it's just to the right of your timeline where it says mixer. Not there, but that thing, like
this here?
Nope.
Oh, here?
That is almost identical to the way that Logic Pro works. That looks just like Logic to me. Pro Tools looks very similar. This is a super common paradigm for mixing tools where it's structured just like a mixing board, with your insert effects first, and then your built-in dynamics. So there's a dedicated compressor, and then a dedicated EQ, and then your sends, your panning, and then your bus outputs. And it's just straight up like a normal mixing board. So this is super familiar to anyone who has ever mixed audio. And so I like even that mixer looks more reasonable to me than the Ableton mixer. And I've been using the Ableton mixer for like 15 years. And I'm like, oh, I instantly understand what's going on here. It's great.
Sweet.
I love it. So we were talking earlier about different kinds of effects, right? There's insert effects that go on the track. There's sends or like return effects that like you send a copy of the signal, but then you have this extra layer of like directly manipulating the clips, which I think is super cool. That's all I wanted to say.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah, I actually didn't know that you could do that because I haven't done, as mostly what I do is video stuff and someone else does the audio part. I typically, I spend a lot more time in this window than I do in this window.
Oh, dude, we're gonna train you up. I feel like I could like mix a track in here. Like maybe I should do that. That would be a fun stream. Let's pull some stems in here and I'll mix a track in a video editor for no reason.
Yeah.
Because I think you could totally do it. So this vocal channel, I'm like looking at it. Yeah. What is it? So it's probably what's called a channel strip plugin, which provides you with like a range of tools that you might want.
So here's the GUI here.
Yep. So ironically, this doesn't really do anything that you don't already have on that channel already. This has a compressor, and you have like I think this is just a redundant more EQ and compression than you already get. Like what are those actual ones on the channel? So you can close this real quick. And so on that channel there's a dynamics module. Down a little to the left, like on the actual strip. Yep. Up to the left a little bit.
Up.
There. Yep. Down. Yep.
Oh, okay.
What's that? Double click it. Yeah, here's your fully featured dynamics module.
Yeah, so these all like you can apply to the like the whole.
Yeah, so these are also on a. Oh, cool. Yeah, so you have bus effects, but then you have you have per track, dynamics and EQ always, and so the vocal channel is like an additional layer of this.
Yeah, I'd assume it seems like there is a lot of redundancy in some of the effects that you could use, the dynamics here.
Sure. And can you pull up the EQ section?
Sure.
Too? Right below it? Yeah. Cool. So that's like a lot of bands, but you might want more bands. And so I could see pulling out a standalone EQ or the vocal channel. There is no standalone EQ over there. That's interesting. So the vocal channel is your standalone EQ.
Yeah.
So if you needed more bands for some reason, like you should have just put the mic somewhere else. But if it's too late for that, there you can get them. Anyways, blah blah blah. This is super cool. So you might like put like kind of general processing stuff on the channel, you know. So like if you want if you have some dialogue, like you might want to EQ all of the dialogue. But then you might have some specific moments of dialogue that you need to like clip. Or probably not clip, but like limit or compress or pitch.
Something gets really loud or something.
Yeah,
like there was a part where she was like chopping these strawberries and it was like super loud and like I could just I guess I could just turn it down or I could probably find some way to limit that.
Yeah, it's right. So sometimes if you turn the clip down, sometimes you might hear the noise floor turn down, and that could sound weird, you know.
Yeah.
And so sometimes actually just reducing the upper end of the dynamics, but retaining the lower end. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So okay. So right, the quietest thing you can hear is the noise floor, right? There's like self noise of all audio systems. We've talked about this on the stream. So like I'm hearing the noise floor of our room. It's quite high in here. But then, everything that you can hear in a recording is above that floor. But that floor is a baseline. But if you turn your whole signal down, the floor goes down with it. And sometimes that's audible. The reason that we grab room tone when we're doing dialogue is that so we can cut out sounds and replace them with room tone instead of silence, because silence is very audible as being weird. And so depending on how far down you need to bring that chopping sound, it might be better to simply address the upper range of the dynamics rather than the lower range.
Oh, I found it here. You want to hear it?
Yeah, there it is. Oh, dude, yeah, this is like... So zoom in on those things. Those are some super, super sharp, fast transients.
Oh, yeah.
Super sharp, fast transients. Wow, yeah. So this is a job for dynamics management of some kind. And so I could see it looks like she talks through it a little bit too.
There is one point, I believe.
Not too thick.
Talking about.
I like to get the nice bright red ruby.
So okay, I'm gonna suggest something on a very non-technical level, but you see how you see the peaks in terms of the heights of those transients on those chops. You see how they pop out just a smidge above her voice there.
Oh yeah, right here.
Yeah, so if you could get a limiter to react to
Ooh.
Oh, does it?
It does reverse. You get full on.
No. Oh.
It's pretty weird.
That's so charming. That is such a charming feature. I love that.
I think you could do it. Same through the front and back.
Dude, you can scratch it.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't sound. I gotta find a.
Yeah, but dude, we gotta do some experimental music in Davinci.
That would be interesting.
We can develop a whole aesthetic of audio in a video editor.
That's some great stuff.
Yeah. So okay. So my thought is you could probably hit that section with the limiter. You could try it.
Yeah, let's try it.
And then
I'm gonna chop this out here.
Yeah. And so it's so cool. You can just apply it to the clip. You may find that the same settings would work on the whole thing, but
right. Just
but why? But don't limit it if you don't need to. Maybe you'd apply a more gentle limiting to the entire project, and then aggressive limiting on a per clip basis.
And this is something that I also noticed when we were actually filming, that this was how loud this was, and I knew that you're probably going to be doing more chopping later, so I ended up turning down the vocals afterward just to give myself some more headroom.
Right.
But for this part, so here's our limiter. Now the limiter I can use. I can use that in the dynamics, right? Or should I use it here? There's a.
So it depends on how you want. So if you go into that dynamic section, it's going to work on the whole track. But if you want to apply it to just that clip, you have to drag.
Right. Okay. Well, let's try with just the clip here.
Yeah.
Let's try the limiter. And I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
When you play it, you're going to get a visual there. It looks like
it should.
Cool.
Yep. Sorry if that's loud on the stream.
It's not for me, but who knows how it is for them.
So yeah, here I got, I'm assuming
limiters are
threshold.
Yeah, so limiters are pretty basic, right? There's they're compressors with an infinite ratio, so they just clamp down as hard as they can clamp.
Not too thick.
But then that's starting to cut her.
You can hear it getting wacky with her voice, right? So what's how high did these peaks go? Like play 'em. Oh, you got some crazy, yeah, like the
Not
gnarly
too thick.
spikes.
There's a soft input as well. I wonder if I could get this to kind of soften a little bit.
I don't know if that means with that, though.
I like to not too thick.
Honestly, I was probably going to cut this part out, but it's a good example of like, if you needed to keep it, how would you fix it?
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out what that soft button does because I'm not really sure what that would mean. But yeah, I'd be thinking about finding a threshold.
Not too thick. I like to
So that,
get the
like-
nice bright red.
This is
ruby.
turning the level of
That's
the
probably
input
just
down.
that's probably just a straight trim on
Yeah.
the like, input gain. So I would leave that for now. You know,
Okay.
like because you're not actually trying to turn the whole thing down, right? You just want to just
Right.
So you may have to raise the threshold now.
Raise it this way.
Other way. Like raise it.
Not
Up.
too thick.
Yeah. Up. Like
up.
yeah, totally. Yeah. Because you really just want to shave off the peaks here.
Okay. Definitely is like,
Not too thick. I like to get the nice bright.
that's not too bad. Definitely
Yeah.
still low.
Yeah, so right, you're still like you're still hearing it, right? And so you might be finding that the limiter is too aggressive with its infinite ratio. You could also try shortening the release time,
So bringing it to
like
this
down.
way?
Yeah, yeah. So the release time is like it's clamping down and turning things down, and then it's going to let go at some point. And the faster it lets go, the less it should grab onto her voice in between the things.
Oh, okay.
But it may cause like the sound of like it may cause it to like audibly pump the levels up and down.
Oh, I see.
Not too thick.
You can almost...
No, that was better though.
Yeah.
I like to get the nice bright red ruby.
Yeah, totally. So
Yeah.
That's great. So you can like man the visual is really helpful too. So it's just kind of kissing her voice a little bit, but it's really you're shaving those peaks completely off. Like
Yeah.
that's great. You know, like we're not miracle workers here, like in this realm, but we do our best. Yeah. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Let's try the noise reduction real
Yeah.
quick while we're here.
Yeah,
just
this
to
is
run
actually
through.
totally. This is an important tool that we've never demoed this. I don't think before, and it's so valuable. Do you have that room tone recording elsewhere?
I do. I haven't transferred it over yet.
Okay, well don't worry about it. Then.
But we can grab a
I'm sure you can just grab.
snippet, let's
I'm sure you can just grab that little section that you just played and it'll be fine.
see. Yeah.
So room noise reduction generally works by you play a sample of room sound and the tool sort of takes a look at that and examines what frequencies are present and then removes them from the thing that you were playing.
Well, let's see what this might actually be.
So there's a learn mode.
Learn to noise only.
Oh, that's listen to noise only. So that mutes the out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Learn here.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's what we're looking for.
Learn.
And then you just hit play. And then stop. It should have learned something.
Should have. And then we can play again.
So wait.
It's really
Oh.
tart.
Is this inserted on this clip?
Yes, I just put it on the clip.
Okay. That's weird that didn't pick that up.
It's very quiet there. Maybe do I need to listen to noise only? Let's see.
Try that, I guess. Get that learn mode engaged though. I'm surprised. It's like it's bypassing the main output and just soloing the noise.
Right.
But it's not actually. Okay, so there. Check it out. There's some detection settings in the lower left. Threshold, attack, sensitivity. So you may need to turn up the sensitivity, possibly.
Come.
Would be my guess. Try that. See if learn does anything new there.
Come. Get in the spot. Learn.
Huh. That's so weird. Like, isn't the whole point of noise reduction to, like, do you see these meters how they're scaled? Like, it's only like the meters start at like -40.
All the way down.
But like, there's totally plenty of noise floor below -40 or -50 that could use some cleaning up. That's like, you know.
Let's see here.
That's so bizarre.
Take it all the way down.
It's definitely doing something though. Like you can hear it when I turn it on and off. Like here, so this is with it off. On. Off. On.
How pretty it is.
It is working.
It's really,
Huh.
really.
Curious.
Yeah, it is working.
It's just not telling you anything about what it's doing. That's very strange. But cool.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. There's a dry wet knob, and it's not set to
really
100%
tart,
wet, which is
so
weird.
typically in crisps, you'd
You can. There's a lot of echo in the room too. A lot of reverb going on.
it's really, really tart.
But yeah, the noise reduction is working. It's just like
Kind of subtle. It's tough for me to monitor because I'm hearing noise. From
from my room too.
The noise floor of your open mic right now is quite a bit higher than whatever that is. But cool.
Yeah. So you get a whole bunch of stuff. There's all sorts of other effects to use. I don't know if did you want to check out. Did you want to do some stuff over there? Or you want to keep messing with this, or?
I'm cool either way. If
Okay.
we can see if we can take a look at this tool like for this job if you're curious.
Yeah.
You can just like spit me that. Can you give me that file?
Yeah. Let me render you out a quick little like piece of this, and then.
I'm not sure how it handles video files. So if you can spit out an audio file only, that would be fine. But
Totally. Probably don't want to move that around too much in there.
I suspect it can handle video files okay, but
See where I got to here. I can mark myself some in and out points. Mark in.
And I'm using
That's probably enough. Take that. Go to my render tab. We want to do, let's see if I could do just an audio only. Look at that. Cooking, video, browse. Just gonna save this to my desktop for a second. Single clip. Audio? What format you want?
give me a wave.
Okay. In particular codec? No? That's fine.
Are there options?
Yeah, you got, I don't know what a IE float is, but
Linear PCM is the general thing.
cool. Bus 1 looks good. Pretty sure I could do, okay, in and out range. Perfect. Add to render queue. Render, this should take like 2 seconds hopefully. Yes, okay, cool. Let me throw this in. Got our shared folder here. Find the desktop. Cooking video. Here you go.
Wow, and I have it. Yes, it's literally on my computer right now.
Modern technology there.
It's incredible. It's pretty much drag and drop from Jay's desktop to my Mac over here.
Heck yeah. All right, so let me switch over to Cory. He's got some other
So
stuff to show
I
us.
thought I'd pull out this thing. Jay was saying that he doesn't really deal with the audio mixing aspect of things very often and just like kind of makes do with the audio tools available in the video realm. So I kind of wanted to just like show and maybe play around with for a second because I don't really know it well. This tool, which is, you got my monitor up?
Yeah, I gotta change something real quick.
I just think this is so cool.
I don't know what happened to the other one, but I want to add in the scene, add in the.
Did you give me the part with the chopping by any chance?
Oh no, I didn't. Do you want that?
That's okay. I'm just curious what I got.
It's the first part that I edited, so it's like a more
Okay.
a cleaner version of.
Cool. So I'm kind of curious what this is, so I'm gonna try and play it.
All right, so we're gonna do a strawberry rhubarb crisp. And these strawberries.
Cool, so I'm getting that noise floor nice and clear over here now. That's cool. Whoa.
Sorry guys, let me get this, oops, I'll make sure I'm not moving around the wrong thing. There we go. All right. There's Cory's computer.
Yeah, so
what's this program again?
So this is Isotope Rx. I'm trying to figure out how to select none here real quick. There we go. Yeah, so I have this software because I have Isotope's suite of tools, mostly that I use for mastering audio. But I have played around with this a bit. Mostly, so Rx is a suite of plugins which are here, and then also a standalone editor. So mostly how I interact with this thing is with its processing modules, particularly the breath, things I've used a lot, the declip, the dehum, deplosive, dereverb. When I was working on that audiobook and editing that, I used a lot of these to clean up the sort of like, especially de-click. It's like, takes all those like clicky mouth sounds and just eliminates them. And it's like this AI sort of, it's like an intelligent process. You just kind of, so here,
Really?
like, yeah, let's just see what we can do with this thing. I don't know if we'll have any problems here.
Oh, that does that too, huh?
So we're going to do a strawberry rhubarb crisp. And these strawberries were from Eureka Natural Foods.
Okay, so there's like a bunch of, I hear some reverb in there.
I'm just curious. Yeah, the room is, like I said, very like, very live. Like there's not a lot of, dampening of, you know, it's a kitchen, a lot of flat surfaces, a lot of metal surfaces.
All right, so we're going to do a strawberry rhubarb crisp. All right, so we're going to do a strawberry.
So I've got this plugin called the dereverb out. And so what?
Eureka Natural Foods.
Let me see.
So I'm just going to chop them
Can I
off.
gain this up anywhere? It feels a little quiet, don't it?
Yeah, a little bit. She starts off kind of quiet.
Oh, it's so weird. Like, is there a just output gain on here?
It's like all these fancy features and you can't turn it up.
Well, like, you know, like, yeah, right. It's probably somewhere, but this is an audio editor, not like a.
So would you do all your leveling and everything before you brought it into this, or would
Yeah,
you...
this is literally just like editing the file. This isn't like a mixing tool or anything like that. It's just like, oh, your file's messed up. Like, let's go fix it, and then bring it into your thing and mix it there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, I don't think they're like expecting, you know, definitely not expecting me to be like sharing this with people. I don't think. There's probably somewhere where there is. Yeah, something gain, like some sort of. Oh, you can shift the scale. That's very strange.
All up. And you can pick these off and save a little bit of the strawberry too.
So yeah, I guess I can't. You can turn me up at your end though, Jay. I guess that's the solution. Since I don't need to make you watch me try and figure this out.
So we're gonna do.
Oh, hey.
All right, so we're gonna do a strawberry rhubarb crisp. Eureka Natural Foods. So I'm just gonna chop them all up.
Okay, you hear like the reverb there on up and the chop? Can you hear?
Yeah, a little bit. Yep.
So I'm just
Yep,
gonna
definitely.
chop them all up.
So I'm gonna apply this effect to this section and see if we can like get a noticeable thing. So I'll bring in the what I call it, dereverb. So this is going to apply to just this section. I think I can learn, it'll quick learn this stuff. And then let's just preview what it's doing.
So we're gonna do a strawberry rhubarb crisp. And these strawberries were from Eureka Natural Foods. So I'm just gonna chop them all up.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell for sure.
I don't know how clear it is on the stream, but like, it was gone.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, like there's still like a hollowness to the sound of that chop, but like in particular, you can render it and it's actually changed the spectral.
Wow.
Chop them all up. And you can pick these off and say.
Whoa, that was.
Oh, yeah, like you can see how it comes back in. exactly where it comes back in.
And you can pick these off.
And I wonder if like you can see it in here. So, okay, so this is the spectrogram here is like frequencies from low to high vertically, right? And then time left to right. And so like, watch as I apply this, you'll see like the high frequencies get darker.
Yeah. There's quite a few darker places. You can just like keep reapplying it over and over again.
I'm just undoing and redoing, but I can.
Oh, you are?
I can probably re-render it. Yeah, re-render, re-render,
Oh man.
re-render,
What is this gonna do?
re-render, re-render, re-render. It's gonna sound so good.
A little bit of the strawberry too.
I don't know.
You want
Is
about
it?
5 or 6 cups of fresh strawberries. So I wanted to share this recipe because I really, really enjoy
It's like being on a
rhubarb,
phone.
and I love strawberries. And you
It's kind of like I always am like, man, it's like one of those wacky like Bluetooth artifacts or something like that. Like I'm always like, gosh, that sounds so cool. I wish I could recreate that. There it is. So cool. Hey, Spectral Repair, right? So this tool is really fascinating. So cool, right? Neat. You can work on the whole thing, but here's why RX is cool. So I'm using a vertical selection tool. There are other tools. I don't have to select all the frequencies if I don't want to.
What? So you could just like do the
I was like, do just like the highs
Huh.
and like de-reverb. I don't know if this would do anything. Like de-reverbing just the highs here. Oops. I keep accidentally grabbing that. That's like pretty crazy. So learning. Let's render it. Yep.
foods. So I'm just going to chop them
There it
all
went.
up. So I'm just going to chop them all up.
So like I just kind of picked an arbitrary place to do that, and like it didn't do as good a job. It wasn't as like deep. It didn't deeply remove as much of the reverb. But like you
Right.
can go in here. Like there are more tools. So this is so fun. I'm gonna start freaking out with this thing more. So like if you really cared and really wanted to, you know, like here's her voice. This bottom orange line is the fundamental pitch of her speaking voice. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh overtones, all right here.
Wow.
Up, right? Is with that? Oh, you're not looking. My cursor's in the wrong spot. This little thing here is up.
Oh, there you go.
Right.
Yep, you can see it.
Up, up.
Interesting. That's
So,
bizarre.
it sounds like Cantonese, like a tone, one of the tones or something.
Up.
You know, I'm not a Cantonese speaker, and I'm sorry if that offends anyone. I think that it sounds like that because I do not speak Cantonese. So yeah, I can like go and like really chop out, like avoid the fundamentals, or maybe I actually just want to do like just the middle area. I can do that. If I want to get more granular, there's this like tool, which can be resized. So I can go and like, I just want to mess with this stuff.
What? Oh my
or
gosh.
like I just want to mess with the chop and like the tail of the reverb after it.
Jeez.
De-reverb, learn, render. So yeah, so this is
pretty
like
insane.
this is a really wildly surgical tool. It's capable of doing some pretty interesting things. Yeah. I certainly like don't know enough about it to like make some progress on Jay's project right now, but like you know all these things can be applied like in this spectral way. So maybe you know there's all sorts of things from de-hum to get rid of like the sound of the fridge, to de-plosive to get rid of pea poppings, de-reverb to get rid of the sound of the room, de-click to get rid of mouth noises, de-clip to get rid of clipping audio, de-bleed to get rid of multiple microphone bleed,
Wow.
breath control to get rid of the breaths. De-crackle works on like line noise if you have like noisy electronics. Really helpful. Like every once in a while you get clicks and pops in your audio. Yeah, all sorts of weird stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and then you can also bring in like your own plugins. So like I can run any of the plugins that I use in here too. And if I want to like apply some sort of bizarre audio effect spectrally, I can do that. But okay,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna click Repair Assistant.
Oh, what is that? Just like, it just tells you.
This is the
what-
AI assistant. So it says, what type of material are you cleaning up? Let's clean up some dialogue.
Yeah.
So all of Isotope's tools do this. I don't use any of these on anything that I use. I've found that the mastering assistant butchers everything I send to it. So I gave up on that. But I would be happy to take its suggestion for dialogues. I think dialogue is a little bit more of a solved problem.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's pretty...
There's no artistic decisions being made.
It's pretty straightforward, you're not...
Yeah. And so it says, hey, clipping detected. No significant clicks or hum. Good job.
That's good.
Noise, and it says, and it gives you some processing options, and it'll audition them.
And you can pick these off, and you can pick these off, and you can pick these off, and you can pick these off.
That's
and
cool.
Save a little bit of the strawberry too. You want about... And you can pick these off and save a little bit of the strawberry.
So it's got a
And
declick,
You want about
voice
5 or 6
denoise, and
cups.
a little bit of gain to it.
Fresh strawberries.
Yep.
So I wanted to share this recipe.
And you can pick these off and save a little bit of the strawberry too. You want about 5 or 6 cups of fresh strawberries.
Yeah, so it's got some declip.
So I wanted to
So it
share this
decided it wanted to run the declip, and it's got the declip, what did I say? Oh, I guess it's doing it.
Nope, yeah, there we go. It's been done.
Oh. What? You can adjust how much it's applied? That's cool.
Huh.
All right, here we go. Declip, voice noise, and gain. Let's just render it and see what it looks like. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Apply all those settings.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Sweet.
This has got my fans going.
There's some processing for you.
Yeah. And then, boop. So, you can see, you just like see in the how much noise is being filtered out of the whole thing.
Wow.
From Eureka Natural Foods. So I'm just going to chop them all up.
I still like the D reverb on that. I thought it sounded better. But,
Yeah.
But like, so again, this is where like I think like in my personal experience with these kinds of things, the AI assistant is like helps you get to a okay starting point or might suggest some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I've not found any of them to be smart enough to know what my project needs. So
It's pretty cool, all this stuff. But yeah, very cool. So should we wrap up?
yeah, I think
Cool
it's about
episode?
that time. Yeah, this is kind of
Alright.
neat. So yeah, like a little post-production audio processing stuff. We're definitely scratching the surface of what you can do.
Yeah.
But you know, trying to get our ducks in a row for doing this kind of straightforward videography and audio capture.
Yeah, I learned something new. I didn't know
Me
that you
too.
could apply effects to the whole clip. I'm gonna definitely use that.
Yeah, man.
So I wonder if you could do the same with color grading stuff. I'll have to mess with that.
Oh yeah,
But-
instead of on a per clip basis. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think there's adjustment clips. I know that was a thing in Premiere. I haven't done enough color correction in Davinci to know yet if it works the same way, but I'm sure it does. Pretty standard. So, yeah, well, very cool. I guess I think we're taking a break next week, so we'll be doing a rerun. So look forward to an old episode. I'm not sure which one will be yet, but I'll pick one out. And then we'll be back the week after for something new and exciting, I'm sure. Cool.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Yeah, thanks to all our awesome sponsors, and thanks to Access Humboldt for putting us out on the cables. Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
Hasta luego.